They held a funeral for me. I watched it on my phone. I was making coffee when my phone buzzed. A video message popped up. It was from Mrs. Langford, our old neighbor. I hadn't heard from her in years. Her name alone made old memories come back. Some I had tried hard to forget. The message was short. No hello. No backstory. Just one line. I'm so sorry about your parents. I can't believe what I saw today. My stomach sank. Tapped the video. Showed a church. St. Albans. I knew that place. It was where my parents used to take me every Christmas Eve when I was little. The camera slowly zoomed in on two people standing at the front. My parents. My mom wore black lace and pearls. She was dabbing her eyes like she was crying. My dad looked stiff. He was holding a paper and reading from it with shaking hands. Behind them was a casket. And next to the casket, my photo. Large frame. Surrounded by flowers. Froze. My father's voice came through the phone. She was always troubled. But we loved her. We tried everything. My chest tightened. My eyes blurred. He was reading a eulogy. My eulogy. Though she left this world far too young, we pray her soul finds peace. I wasn't dead. I was alive. Standing in my own apartment. Holding the phone. Watching this madness unfold. This had to be some kind of mistake. I rewound the video. Watched it again. And again. Their faces didn't change. They weren't crying for real. Their voices weren't shaking from grief. They were acting. Controlled. Like it was all part of a plan. My hands shook. I grabbed the counter to stay steady. What the hell is this? I whispered. Why would they do this? I hadn't spoken to them in years. They cut me off. Told me I was a disgrace. But this. They held a funeral. They told the world I was dead. My mom said in the video that I died in an accident. There was no accident. My dad said I spent my last years in isolation. I wasn't isolated. Had a job. I was surviving. They knew that. They had to. So why? Why this? I sank onto a chair, still holding my phone. The video ended with the camera showing the crowd. Relatives. Family friends. Even my old piano teacher. All dressed in black. All sitting there. Believing I was gone. And none of them. Not a single one had tried to reach out to me. I played the video again. I needed to be sure this was real. It was. They didn't just cut me out. They buried me. Alive. And in that moment it hit me. This wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. It wasn't always like this. Once I thought family meant love. Meant safety. But that dream shattered 3 years ago. That was the day I lost everything. The truth. I didn't steal the money. It was Elena. My younger sister. The perfect one. The golden girl. She took almost $80,000 from the family business account. She loved to spend money she didn't have. But when things got messy, when the books didn't match up, they needed someone to blame. I was right there. Easy to point at. I still remember the words my mom said. Right in the kitchen. Better one ruined daughter than two. My dad didn't even look me in the eyes. You embarrassed us. You're no longer part of this family. The next morning I was gone. No money. No goodbye. Just gone. I tried calling. Texting. I even wrote letters. Nothing. They blocked my number. I reached out to people who had known me all my life. One by one they stopped replying. All the doors closed. Became a ghost. Not just to my family but to everyone. So I left. I moved overseas. Got a job in a cafe. Changed my number. Stayed low. I didn't post online. Barely used my real name. But deep down I hoped someone would call. Or write. Ask if I was okay. Tell me this was all a mistake. That day never came. Instead, something worse did. Last year I tried logging into my old email. It wouldn't work. Support said the account had been shut down. They said it was reported as belonging to a dead person. Me. My name was listed as deceased in their system. Not just erased from their lives. Erased from everything. I didn't sleep that night. The video kept playing in my head like a broken record. Those fake tears, those forced voices, that funeral. My photo beside a casket I'd never seen. They held a funeral without me. Something was very wrong. I had to know the truth. So I started where no one would expect me to, my Aunt Rachel. My mom's older sister. We hadn't spoken in forever, but I remembered how she used to sneak me candy under the table at family reunions. She picked up after 2 rings. "Hello, Aunt Rachel." "It's Maya." There was a pause. Long one. And click. She hung up. Called again. Block. Next I tried my cousins. One left me on read and sent nothing but a thumbs up emoji. Another messaged back. "Is this a joke? Because it's not funny." No one believed it was me. Except one. My youngest cousin. He always looked up to me when we were kids. He replied after a long pause. "Maya, are you really alive?" "Yes. And I need to know what they told everyone." The typing bubble blinked, then disappeared. Came back. Disappeared again. Then finally. "They said you died in a car accident overseas. 3 years ago." My heart dropped. 3 years. He continued. "They said it was too late to bring you back. You were cremated. Closed casket." I nearly dropped my phone. I'd never even owned a car while abroad, let alone been in a crash. Something cracked open inside me. I started pulling everything out. Passport stamps, immigration forms, flight itineraries, even hostel bookings. Not one accident. Not a single moment where I went missing. I checked the official public records site. Typed in my name. And there it was. Maya Dekwa. Date of death. July 16th. Cause road accident. Status. Deceased. Certificate ID. ARF 91327. Someone forged it. They made it official. Made me legally dead. This wasn't just grief. This wasn't someone confused. This was a setup. Cover-up. But why? What were they hiding that made erasing me worth it? I should have walked away. Should have let it go. But once you realize your family buried you while you were breathing, you have to know why. That's when I checked somewhere I hadn't dared in years. Elena's Instagram. She had made her account public again. And right there, a scroll away from the truth. A wedding. Elena's wedding. White roses. Champagne towers. A ring the size of a jawbreaker. And everyone was there. Aunt Rachel beaming like she hadn't just blocked me. My cousins clinking glasses. Even great Uncle Theo, who hadn't left his village in over a decade. But not me. Not one photo. Not one post. Not even a "Maya would have loved this." Nothing. Like I'd never existed. Then I saw it. In one of the reception pictures, someone was giving a speech. Her new husband smiling beside him. And next to him my dad. He held a wine glass. Spoke into a mic grinning. The caption below the photo said, "To the one daughter who always made us proud." And that's when it hit me. I wasn't just forgotten. I was replaced. I dug deeper. Went into the family trust records. Searched names, dates, transfers. And there it was. The trust fund my grandparents left for me. College money, startup money, everything was quietly transferred to Elena. 6 months after my death. She didn't mourn me. She inherited me. I stared at her smiling in that white dress, twirling under fairy lights. She didn't just take my place. She deleted me. And that's when I decided I'm done hiding. If they wanted me dead, they were about to learn just how alive I still was. The next morning I walked into a law office. My hands shook, but I had proof. Passport entries, job contracts, leases, tax returns, every little scrap that proved I never disappeared. The young lawyer across the desk looked confused at first. "You're challenging your own death." I slid the forged certificate across the table. "I'm not dead," I said. "But I'm done being buried." He blinked, nodded slowly. "Then we'll file a fraud report and request to revoke the death declaration." "I don't have time," I said. "They're holding my memorial this Sunday." He stared. I didn't flinch. Let them light candles for a ghost. Because I was about to rise. The message came in late. One line, no name. "Memorial for you. St. Albans. Next Sunday." No sender. No context. But I knew the place. I knew the street. It was real. And so was my return. That night, I stood at my window. City lights flickering below like tiny embers daring me to drop the match. They'd erased me. My name, my face, my breath. Filed me undergone and forgotten. But now they'd given me a script. And I was ready for the curtain to rise. They wanted grief. I'd give them revelation. St. Albans had never seen so much mourning. The street was choked with cars, slow-moving, headlights dimmed like bowed heads. Inside, the church groaned under the weight of shared lies. Mourners, all in black, whispered like guilt trying to stay quiet. Across the street, I stood cloaked in anonymity. Dark coat, darker glasses. From here it looked like theater. The actors were convincing. The trembling hands, the polished tears, the perfectly timed sighs. Inside, the orchestra had started. The organ bleeding sorrow. My photo rested beside a row of candles. The same photo they used in that laughable obituary. I remembered that day. I'd smiled without knowing it might be the last real one. Then my father took the stage. Measured voice. Heavy with performance. She struggled. But we loved her. We prayed she'd return. Liar. My mother sat front row, clutching tissues like props, dabbing fake tears with practiced precision. Next to her stood Elena, clutching pearls like they were all she had left. And maybe they were now. "She was complicated," Elena said, voice cracking just enough to be convincing. "But she was mine. I wish I could have said goodbye." She had. Just not with words. The priest raised his hand. "Let us bow our heads in silence." And in that breathless hush I moved. The doors groaned open, ancient wood splitting like a secret revealed. Cold light from the street spilled into the sanctuary, slicing through incense and incense-worthy lies. I stepped into it. Each footfall echoed click, blick, blick. Heads turned. Whispers scattered like startled birds. "Mom, isn't that her?" a child asked. I slipped off my sunglasses. Let them see. Let them doubt their eyes. My mother's face drained of color before she collapsed in a dramatic heap. My father dropped his glass. It shattered like the illusion they'd built. Elena stared, frozen, her pearls snapping in her grip like they could hold her lies together. The priest stumbled back. The church watched, breath held like a single lung. I walked straight up the aisle like a ghost reclaiming her grave. And then I faced them, right beneath my own portrait. "I heard I died," I said. "But I'm here to set the record straight." No one moved. Phones hovered but didn't blink. Fingers frozen mid-press. There was no accident, no fire, no mystery overseas. Just this. Pulled out a folder. Government stamps. Foreign addresses. Visa entries. Tax records. Proof. I've been alive. Just not in their story. I turned toward my parents. They reported me dead. Forged papers. Filed forms. Killed me on paper so they could live without me. Then my eyes locked on Elena. They transferred everything to her. My inheritance. My trust. My name. Elena opened her mouth, but I cut her off. "Don't get too comfortable in that house. It was mine." A low wave of gasps rippled through the crowd. Camera light blinked red. Let the world see. "This isn't a memorial," I said. "This is a cover-up." I stared down my father. "You didn't lose me. You gave me up." And now I was back. Not as the daughter they could manipulate, but as the reckoning they never expected. I turned one last time, gaze sweeping over their stunned faces. "Bill. Hello. Mull. You buried me to save yourselves," I said, voice calm as a storm's eye. "Now I've returned to burn the coffin you built." No more yelling. No more denial. Just silence. Dense and final. And then I walked out. Behind me the bells began to ring. Not for me. Not anymore. I handed the folder to my lawyer. Signed the last form. Watched the death certificate rip in two. The resurrection, official. The investigation, open. Fraud. Forgery. Let them try and wriggle out now. Sometimes you have to let them believe you're gone. So when you rise, it's not for them, it's for you. I wasn't back for revenge. I was back for freedom.